Cricket is a game that runs on moments, and no moment in the sport carries as much weight, as much celebration, and as much historical meaning as a batsman raising their bat after crossing the 100-run mark. A century in cricket is not just a number, it is proof of concentration, skill, temperament, and greatness. Over the long and beautiful history of international cricket, only a handful of batsmen have managed to make the century their calling card, scoring them not once or twice but dozens of times across decades of service to their nation. This is the story of the 10 greatest century scorers in the history of international cricket, men who turned the impossible into routine and whose names will be spoken with reverence for as long as the game is played. Beginning at number 10 is Rohit Sharma of India, who as of early 2026 has scored 50 international centuries across all formats, 12 in Test cricket, 33 in one-day internationals, and 5 in T20 internationals, making him the only player in cricket history to score 3 double centuries in ODIs, and a man whose ability to destroy bowling attacks in the power play with his clean, elegant stroke play made him one of the most dangerous openers the game has ever produced. Rohit led India to the 2024 T20 World Cup title and remains one of the most celebrated batsmen in the modern era. At number 9 is the West Indian prince Brian Lara, whose career from 1990 to 2007 produced 53 international centuries, 34 in Test cricket and 19 in ODIs, and who for much of his career was considered by many as the finest batsman alive. Lara holds the record for the highest individual Test score of all time, scoring an unbeaten 400 against England in Antigua in 2004, and his 34 Test centuries were each a masterpiece of timing, elegance, and pure batting genius that reminded the world of what cricket at its absolute best truly looks like. Directly above him at number 8 is Mahela Jayawardene of Sri Lanka, who accumulated 54 international centuries, 34 in Tests and 19 in ODIs, across a career that spanned from 1997 to 2015 and made him one of the most technically complete batsmen of his generation, a player who combined grace with determination and whose contributions helped Sri Lanka become one of the dominant forces in world cricket through the 2000s and into the 2010s. Seventh on this list is Hashim Amla of South Africa, who scored 55 international centuries between 2004 and 2019, made up of 28 Test centuries and 27 ODI centuries, and who in 2012 became the first South African cricketer in history to score a triple century in Test cricket when he made 311 against England at the Oval in London. Amla's serene, wrist-driven style and his unshakable mental composure under pressure made him one of the most consistent and reliable batsmen of his era, and he remains South Africa's greatest ever Test run scorer. The 6th position belongs to England's Joe Root, who as of 2026 has scored 61 international centuries, 41 in Tests and 20 in ODIs, and who continues to play at the elite level, adding to his tally with remarkable regularity in a career that began in 2012. Root has already surpassed the Test century tallies of legends like Sunil Gavaskar and Brian Lara, and is now being spoken of in the same breath as the all-time greats. His consistency, adaptability across conditions around the world, and technical mastery make him arguably the finest England batsman in the history of the sport. 5th is the extraordinary Jacques Kallis of South Africa, who scored 62 international centuries, 45 in Tests and 17 in ODIs, across a career from 1995 to 2014 that also included 292 Test wickets and 273 ODI wickets, making him widely regarded as the greatest all-rounder in the history of cricket. Kallis averaged over 55 in Test cricket, a number that only the truly elite can claim, and his 45 Test centuries are the 3rd highest of all time behind only Sachin Tendulkar and Ricky Ponting. At number 4 is the majestic Kumar Sangakkara of Sri Lanka, who scored 63 international centuries, 38 in Tests and 25 in ODIs, in a career that ran from 2000 to 2015 and established him as the finest wicket-keeper batsman in the history of the game. Sangakkara's 2015 Cricket World Cup performance, in which he scored 4 consecutive centuries, a record that has never been matched, showcased his ability to perform at the highest level on the biggest stage, and his career Test average of 57.40 speaks to a batsman of remarkable consistency and class. 3rd on this prestigious list is the Australian legend Ricky Ponting, who scored 71 international centuries, 41 in Tests and 30 in ODIs, in a career spanning from 1995 to 2012, leading Australia to back-to-back World Cup victories in 2003 and 2007, and cementing his status as one of the 2 or 3 greatest batsmen Australia has ever produced. Ponting's pull shot, cover drive, and aggressive intent made him a nightmare for bowlers around the world, and his record of 71 centuries stood unchallenged as the second highest of all time until surpassed only recently. Second on this list is India's Virat Kohli, who has amassed 85 international centuries as of 2026, 30 in tests, 54 in ODIs, and 1 in T20 internationals, making him the highest scorer of ODI centuries in history, surpassing even Sachin Tendulkar's tally of 49 ODI hundreds with his 50th ODI century in 2023. Kohli's hunger, fitness, and mental strength have driven him to heights no active player currently approaches, and with cricket still being played, the question of whether he can close the gap to the man at number one remains one of the most fascinating ongoing stories in the sport. And at the very top of this list, standing alone on a peak that no other cricketer in history has reached, is Sachin Tendulkar of India, the man known simply as the God of Cricket, who scored 100 international centuries across his career, 51 in Test cricket and 49 in ODIs, across a playing career that stretched an extraordinary 24 years from 1989 to 2013. Tendulkar's 100th international century, scored against Bangladesh in March 2012, was the culmination of a journey that had captured the hearts and imaginations of over 1 billion people in India and countless millions more around the world. His 51 Test centuries remain the highest of any batsman in history. His 34,357 international runs are the most by any cricketer ever, and his record of 100 international centuries is considered by many experts as the single most unbreakable record in all of sport. These 10 men represent the absolute pinnacle of the batting art, players who understood that a century is not just a score, it is a statement, a legacy, and a gift to every generation of cricket lovers who watches and remembers.